Hello and good morning. Gary champion, psychic medium, healer, teacher, and all around pretty good guy. With a little video that I hope sort of clarifies some things. I've been dealing lately with the other side a lot lately, and there's a lot of confusion on this side. There's no confusion on that side. And got a list of things here. Coming up, April 17th, free healing. It's scheduled on the Go Live thing. May the 1st, free readings on the Go Live part. May the 8th, free healing. May the 15th is my manifesting class, and you have to sign up for that one by going to www.garychampion.com and go to the class page or classes page and enroll in it. It's a class for those who have never figured out. Maybe you're manifesting, but you're doing it wrong. And how to do it clearly in a manner that gets results. I've been doing it since I was a kid with really good results, so I've figured it out. And if I figured it out, I can teach it to you. Okay, that's May 15th, manifesting class, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, USA, right here on this channel. April the 27th, I have a question and answer over at Intuit View with Kim and Cassie on my book I wrote last year called Awaken the Medium. It's a nonfiction book about all the things that I have done to keep myself where I'm at. Crazy. I've learned to talk in a normal manner, but the truth is when people tell me things, I don't get it at all. I don't understand most of what I see out the window here. I just kind of participate. If I have questions, I can ask my wife and she'll explain it. Other than that, I just don't really know why people do the things they do. Anyway, it'll be about that, and probably there'll be a lot of interesting questions asked. I'm not giving a list of questions. They're just going to randomly ask questions. There's a panel with her book club. And they take a metaphysical book and read it, and then they get together and ask a lot of questions of the author. That'd be me. And there's always flash free readings where I'll just turn on the computer and go live somewhere, or just I'll put up a little video saying call this number, remember, on my stealth phone. I had to take out the plastic, I guess, show and tell, to show you that I actually do have a phone. It's not my normal phone that I use. It has a different number, and it's off. It's always off, except during that 30 or 40 minute period where I do free readings. I record them. I put them on the YouTube channel if they're not too controversial. Some of them are bordering. I've been told that some of my free readings have bordered on the questionable as to things to discuss on YouTube. And I was talking to my wife the other day. We were watching a show where it's fake paranormal stuff, and I was saying how it just doesn't happen that way, that I'm not in control of what they tell me. I just have to repeat what they tell me, and often it's can be a little dirty, a little sexual, but if I'm reading someone spur of the moment and that's what comes out of them, that's their question that they really need to know, that's what I'm going to give. But sometimes I have a couple of them that I just simply can't put up because I'm questioning whether, so I need to go back and edit them, taking the questionable stuff out. I looked at one of them and there was so much in it that, so I don't watch my own videos. I do these free readings. I just chuck it right up there. And I was watching one And the whole thing was questionable as to whether I could put it up or not. So I just didn't. Maybe sometime in the future. Mediums have kind of a target on their back all the time about what's real and what's unreal. And I'm not really aware of that because I live in a cocoon somewhere, but I've noticed a lot of mediums getting beat up over stuff that's, now that's a cold reading, that's a this, and he did that, and he asked that, and that led to this, and he really didn't know anything. And I agree, there's a lot of that on the internet, tons of it. You can see it, it's so obvious. We don't do that. I don't know how to do that. I never was around anybody that did it. But anyway, at any drop of a hat, flash free readings with the stealth phone. I called it the burner phone. My wife said it's not a burner phone. You're not selling drugs. Okay, it's a stealth phone. This means it's shut off all the time. You can't really access it. And I can't access it until I turn it on. Okay, today's little video is about misperception about the other side, and it has to do with someone who's still alive, who's passing, who has a list of things they want done after they pass. You know, don't sell this, don't do this, take care of my dog. This distant relative who lives on some island, make sure they get money. These long lists of shit, and that's, see, there's a questionable word. I think YouTube may block this one, but I'm going to put it up anyway. But it's a lot of things because these people can't let go of this side to go to the other side. They insist on controlling here even after they're gone. They have a list of requests. You can't inherit this money unless you do these things I want you to do. You have to live in the house for 20 years in order to get it. Unless it's written down and you signed it in a will, you can pretty much ignore all that stuff. Why? Because the thing that makes these people demand those things is kind of what ruined them in real life. Their insistence on controlling everything around them. Once they're gone, they don't have any control. So they put unusual conditions on people in order to retain their grasp of this side, even though they're not here anymore. The wording on this, they, meaning spirits, relatives, spirits that are relatives to you, want us to do what's right for us and not what you think they would want you to do. That's kind of a lot of words, but that's how I wrote it down, and I even have to read it. I can't remember. I have no memory for it. They want us to do what's right for us and not what you think they would want you to do. Don't sell the house. It's been in the family for 200 years. It's got to stay in the family. And then they pass, and you're in a financial crunch. The only thing you can do is sell the house. And I get a lot of those questions. How did he feel about how we did this? Or how does he feel about how we're handling his dog? Or how does he feel about we're raising his child? Generally speaking, they want you to just do the best you can and not put a condition on it that you think they might want you to do. You just ignore all that. They're not here anymore. Control is moot. If it was written in a will and you feel like following it to get the house, go ahead and follow it. But I think it's a bad idea to let someone who's passed control your future. Then you live your whole life to get that house, and you find out it's not worth anything. It's got bugs in it, and you wasted all that time sucking up to a dead person. Just a bad idea. And that's what I get when someone in a reading asks, did he like the funeral flowers? Did he like the new paint on the house? Does he like the dog food we're feeding his dog? The vet recommended it, so generally speaking, they want you to do what's best for you not what's best for him or her. They're not here anymore. They have no grasp on things. And attitudinally, they change. Where some angry, controlling father has you a list of things to do, you can pretty much ignore that. When they pass, that list doesn't exist. And they know it because there is different than here. People who are there have let go of here, even if they don't want to, even if they're holding on for dear life, and pass with a list of rules. You can't sell a house. You have to keep my dog. He has to eat this kind of food. That ring goes to that person. All that's moot when they're passed. It has no significance at all. And they see the silliness of it too. I've had that in a reading where do what's best. Do what's best for you. Don't ignore what I said when I was alive. I realize now that was silly. And I didn't take into account that what you do might be best for you and not for me because I'm gone. I'm no longer here. Sort of ceding control of whatever is left to you. They leave a child behind, and they ask you to be a parent or adopt this child or something like that, and you're raising it. They'll often, in a reading, the parents say, "How does he think I'm raising his child?" That's a legitimate question. How do you think the father of this child or mother of this child thinks about the way I'm raising that child? It's yours. It's your baggage now. Do the best you can with it. Things don't turn out perfectly, that's life. But don't live your life according to what someone who has passed would have told you to do when they were here. They're not here anymore. They realize now, once they passed, how silly it is. Oh, I didn't want them to sell the house. Okay, I see no reason not to sell a house. They need the money, blah, blah, blah. Little Eddie needs to go to college. Cindy needs braces. You do what's best for you. And because that's what they see is what you should be doing. Not what they would in real life want you to do. This is not real life. This is afterlife. And afterlife doesn't hold rules. There really aren't any rules. It's whatever. You're here, they're there. The Spirit will not impress upon you to follow a certain set of rules. It's silly. And they see it as silly. Although when they were alive, they might have insisted on it. Ed's got to go to Cornell. That's where I went. He's got to go to Cornell. No, maybe he wants to go to Oxford or Yale or any other school. So just forget that. We've got 8 generations of so-and-sos that went there. My kid's going. Ignore that. What's best for the child? Maybe he's not going to make a doctor or a lawyer. Maybe he's going to be a musician or an artist of some kind. And you want to force him to go to business school? Remember, you aren't here anymore. That person's no longer here. So those defining things that someone wants to control are no longer relevant. I don't know if I've explained this right or not, but that's what I hear from the other side. Do what you think is best for you and ignore whatever you think we would want you to do. And if you think about it, a lot of these people have messed up their lives when they were here, following these rules that make no sense, probably handed from their father. It doesn't make for a happy life. A happy life means you have free will to pick whatever you want to do. Go down that road because it's what's best for you. Even though you've had 10 generations of kids that went to Cornell. Traditions are silly. They're just silly. But you see it in families where you can't get the gold ring unless you do what they tell you to do, and they're not here anymore. You got a list of rules from a dead person. Makes no sense at all. But we do that, and I hear it in readings. What would Uncle Billy think about the way we're raising his horse? And I'm surprised sometimes they say, well, they just love this horse. He loves the way you're raising it. You need to watch his right foot. He's got a rock in it, so you can get that rock out. They'll be specific like that, but they won't give rules as to the training and well-being of the horse. If you want to rent that horse out to let children ride on it on the weekends, but he would have been against that in the real life and afterlife, those rules don't matter. A horse should be ridden instead of just out in the pasture. Horses love interaction with people. So anyway, I think I've over-explained. But try to live by a list of rules from those who have gone before you that are no longer here. They're afterlife. Life, afterlife. When they're here, people tend to over-control things because that's the way they were taught. Everybody around them does it. And if they become a guide, maybe, let's say your father passes or mother passes, and she's becoming a guide to someone else, not you. Parents make bad guides for you, but she could be a guide for somebody else. They will not insist on a lot of rules. Why? Because you're living the life of someone who's passed. You're following their rules. You're living their life. That's not what this side is about. This side is about finding your own way. They'll give you little hints. You should do this. You should do that. Look at the thing. See what you think about that. You look at it and say, "Oh yeah, I could do that." So they're good about directional, spiritual guidance, but not control. They give you a few options. Pick one. What do you want to do? What are you best at? They'll even tell you that, but that doesn't mean you have to follow it. These are guidelines, not rules. The older I get, the more I understand that there are no rules in the afterlife. There aren't any. So if there aren't that many there, why should we have them here? Because society dictates that we have them. Again, I'm over-explaining. Anyway, all these classes and things, a lot of free readings, free healings, free healing, free, this. Q&A is free. You have to be a member of a book club. Flash free readings on the stealth phone, those are all free. To help you better understand how to see things in the proper perspective between this life and afterlife. Life here is easy if you don't get in the way. No fear, no regret, no anger. Thanks for watching.